Sigma males occupy a top spot in the socio-sexual hierarchy, right next to the alphas, but sort of outside the hierarchy altogether. This puts them in an attractive position, which makes many guys want to identify as Sigma. However, it comes with a catch. The same strengths that give Sigmas a commanding position in society can be weaknesses if not channeled properly. Welcome to Viral Brain, where we focus on the psychology of personality. Be sure to like and subscribe so you can be notified whenever we release new content. Here are 9 problems Sigma males face in society and how to overcome them. Number 1. Sigmas don't have a tribe. They're nicknamed the lone wolf for a reason. They work best alone. They have the ability to work in teams and be cooperative, but their finest work comes from alone time. They appreciate quietness and tend to listen within themselves for intuition, and then follow that intuition. And while Sigmas can build a career as a solopreneur or a remote worker, enjoy their freedom and not be attached to anything or anyone, it can sometimes get lonely. Whether you admit it or not, there is safety and strength in numbers. Alphas invest a lot of time and effort into their social circles, and they reap the benefit of that investment in a number of people that would have their back. Sigmas, they don't make that investment. They often direct their time and effort on themselves to grow their knowledge and skills. This is why when Sigma males fall, it leaves scars, not scratches. Having people to take care of you and help you if you're sick or in any kind of trouble can sometimes be life-changing. To give you a clear idea, a Sigma male probably has 10 people or so who put his number when they're asked who to call in case of an emergency, while he has only 1 person he could think of, or maybe even 0. The way to overcome this is simple. Put all the time you want into yourself and your career, but also make sure to put at least some time in forming strong bonds in genuine connections, at least with a few people. Remember, the lone wolf dies, and the pack survives. Number 2. Sigmas don't follow rules. They question everything and think for themselves, designing a personal code they live by which they spent a lot of time and effort developing. They absolutely hate the word tradition and never do things they find pointless just because their parents and grandparents used to do them. For example, a Sigma male wouldn't steal, not because of law or because he's afraid to go to prison, but because his personal code says that taking from other people with no right to do so is wrong. And if their code doesn't include that, they can skew away from the law and go to prison. They can also get themselves in a lot of trouble due to their unorthodox views. You may find that the majority of male college dropouts are Sigmas, because they logically break down the value they're getting from college versus the time, money, and effort they invest in it. And if the equation doesn't balance out, they will leave. They won't do something just because their parents and peers say it's the right thing to do. They have to be convinced for themselves. This often causes problems with their families, especially if they don't understand the Sigma's goal and dismiss his thoughts as ridiculous. Number 3. Sigma males are adaptive. They're the best natural survivors out of all the male personality archetypes. For an alpha, when a task gets too complicated or time-consuming, the first thing they think is, whom can I delegate this to? But for a Sigma, they think, how can I get this done? They rely only on themselves, and they adapt their skills and learn new things to get the job done adequately. This makes them incredibly efficient workers, but it can cause them immense difficulty when trying to delegate important tasks. It can also make them waste a lot of time working on something while they could have asked for someone's help who can get it done faster. Also, it's common for a Sigma male to make a bold career shift or travel to a foreign country and thrive in their new position. While this allows Sigmas to sustain crises like losing your job or being forced to move to a new place, it can also backfire. Because Sigmas know they can survive anything, they can sometimes walk away from good opportunities too soon. Something along the lines of, "It's okay if my business fails, I can still secure a decent job somewhere else." It would be smart for a Sigma to surround himself with people who'd advise him to keep going when the situation looks dire. Number 4. Sigmas put themselves first. Even though Sigma males can fit well into society and can be sensitive and sympathetic, they always put their goals and happiness over everyone and everything else. Altruism is among the least likely virtues you'd find in a Sigma male, and they're not afraid to admit that. You'd find them saying something like, "I'd love to make my parents proud, but I gotta put myself first." This can make a lot of people think that a Sigma is selfish or ruthless, especially if he takes it too far. Number 5. Sigma males can be unintentionally offensive or brutally honest. People lie to make themselves look better, to hide a mistake or a failure they've made, or to protect someone's feelings and spare their pain. Sigmas don't really care about any of these things, so they just don't have a reason to lie. They have pragmatic views on life, and they don't sugarcoat stuff to make it sound better. They tell it like it is, and if it hurts someone, well, too bad, it's still the truth. Needless to say that this can get them in a huge amount of trouble, and many people might consider them rude or insensitive. The thing is, they don't mind hearing the truth themselves, so they don't give these filters of politeness and esteem as much significance as others do. They're humble, so they have no regard to title or status. They talk to their college professors and bosses the same way they talk to the janitor or someone who works for them, with respect and honesty. They have a mindset that goes, the only reason there has to be a guy who tells children Santa doesn't exist is the guy who told them Santa does. And some people just like Santa. Number 6. Sigmas have strongly defined preferences. They don't like something or someone just because everyone likes it. They look within themselves to find what they truly enjoy in life, and they're not afraid to say it. So they have different tastes in music, food, art, places, and pretty much everything. This can cause a lot of people to think that Sigmas are being too cool for school. You'd often find a Sigma male listening to songs from past decades or centuries, or talented underground artists not many people know about. And they'd like a genre even if it has a bad reputation, or an association with a particularly infamous group of people, which some people would relentlessly judge. Many times, a Sigma would find a famous art piece pointless or overrated. They might think, yeah, the Mona Lisa is great and all, but I'm pretty sure there are way more talented people in the world, they're just not as famous as Leonardo da Vinci. Number 7. Sigma males have authority issues. They won't succumb to someone's authority just because they have some power to fire them or punish them. In fact, if someone tries to subdue a Sigma male, he will either walk away or even start a rebellion. And they don't do things in a certain way just because this is how everyone does it. They think for themselves and question everything, and they often have very controversial opinions on things that seemingly everybody else agrees on. This can cause them huge problems at work, especially if they have a bossy superior. Most people do things the way they were taught or the way everyone else does it, but Sigmas actually put in the time and effort to study, research, and try as many times as it takes to figure something out. So their opinion is based on facts and experience, not common knowledge. And even though this can be an advantage in innovation and problem solving, it can be a drawback, because sometimes you don't really need to reinvent the wheel. If it works, it works. So Sigmas often waste a huge amount of time and resources fact-checking for themselves and making sure that everything makes sense according to their own beliefs. If they come up with something new, great, they're geniuses. But if they don't, they've only just wasted time to come to the same conclusion. They just hate being told what to do, and they need their own space to grow. This can definitely be problematic at the workplace. So what to do about it if you're a Sigma? Well, you have two options. Either pick a vocation in which you answer to no one, like a freelancer or an entrepreneur, or if you have to have a boss, choose someone who understands you and gives you the resources you need and guides you, while still giving you the space to make your own mistakes and learn from them. If you end up with one of those "do as I say because I'm your boss and I own you" a-holes, the workplace will turn into a battlefield. Number 8. Sigmas get bored easily. They won't quit because the going gets hard or they face a huge challenge, but they will quit if they simply get bored. They have to have constant stimulation, face challenges which they can adapt to, and solve new problems. This can make Sigmas quit profitable jobs and promising careers just because they got bored after 2 years of the same thing. And it can also make them end a relationship too soon because it's not as interesting as it was, and they would miss out on a person who might have been a good life partner. Number 9. Sigmas never trust anyone until they earn their trust. Law says the suspect is innocent until proven guilty. Sigmas say everyone is guilty until proven innocent. This can make a lot of people think Sigma males have trust issues, and in extreme cases, they might even suffer from paranoia. Normally, they don't trust people just because some other people trust them, or because that's the polite thing to do. They value their trust and respect, and they feel like it has to be earned. Thanks for watching.